mamas against police violence, given what's been going on in our country. Oh, in Seattle.
If you want to come on here, it's up to you.
I want to welcome you all and thank you for coming today to our press release. You know, for its Midwives Mother Alliance, you know, to support women who are pregnant against police violence. You've all been aware of what's going on in our country. It happened in Seattle recently, where a mother was shot pregnant in front of her children. This is happening more than once in the last year. So we decided that we need to have a conversation about what we need to do, how we need to show up. So welcome, and please make sure you sign in. We really need your information. The presenters will be Shafia Monroe, Joanne Hardesty, Mikal Shabazz, Samira, China, Brotherson. And we will have questions and answers after they present. A coffee break, personal stories, experiences, and we'll do a candlelight visual. And then we'll try to network and think about what we need to do next. Okay? So we need
Brother Charles will open. So how are we doing? We're doing an African-centered approach. We open with libation. We recognize that the spirits of our ancestors are here with us and remembrance of who he will do that for us. And then we have Chaplain Velda Beckett with another prayer, because we're all very spiritual people in our culture. And then we'll get into the actual presentation.
Thank you so much. Thank you for this opportunity to present a spiritual side of everything, because I was telling Shafia, first and foremost, me and Shafia and Mikal go back 20 plus years. I'm a doula myself. I've been on the board of ICTC back in the day, a long time ago. But what I'm doing right now is a spiritual walk myself. So this is nothing religious or anything like this. This is plain spirit. So what I'm going to ask you to do is just forget about what you got to do 2 minutes from now. Forget about rushing over here trying to find a place, because you're here right now for a reason. And I'm going to make that known and clear why you're here. As always, things are always connected in the belief system. And first and foremost, I'm going to give a libation to what we call the life forces, but we call them the Netaru. The sky, the earth, the air, things like that, things that we have to depend on. So I'm going to pour this out, and when I pour it out, if you would say ashe, that means a condition of so it is. So pouring this out to the Netaru. Ashe. The next group that we have to acknowledge is the ancestors, the ones who came before us. And we call them the Aku. So the ancestors, those are your grandmothers, Sojourner Truth, Harriet Tubman. So when I'm going to pour this out, if you can think of an ancestral name that you want to represent today and give them honor, you can do that. I'm going to use my grandmother, Grandma Hannah. Any other names? Any other names?
Olivia Morales.
Any other names? Ashe. The next libation goes to the people who are in the room right now. This is the people who make it happen. And we're called the Unu. We're all connected because we are here present. So, Ashe.
Ashe.
And this is why we really are here for. The ones who are not here yet, the seeds, we call them the Pare. So all the babies who are yet to be born, this is why we are here.
Ashe.
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 Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Sister Velda.
Sister.
Yes. So, I am coming before you with a prayer that I have written. Forgive me for reading it. I will read it. In whatever prayer form you take, you are welcome to take that at this time. O great spirit of our ancestors, Almighty and beneficent God, you know and hear all things. Today, corporately, dear God, we come to you in the face of police brutality and pray against the injustice and the murders of pregnant Black women, against the senseless degradation and discrimination of people of color everywhere. We come to you, Almighty God, with our hearts bleeding as a result of the perpetration against Black men, Black families, and Black lives. Many lives have been taken by a few corrupt, collusive government officials, bad police officers, and politicians who see nothing wrong with the slaughter of innocent Black and brown men, women, and children, and unborn babies. We ask that you intervene with your omniscient presence and stop the violence against people of color. And that your conscious people everywhere, Black, white, brown, red, and yellow, come together to ensure that your justice and your peace prevail. We ask that you halt the hand of bias, racism, sexism, and inequity. Release your angels and empower your people. Send your mighty power from every direction of the four winds. Please, O God, bless us with the wisdom of the elders who have gone before us. Our hearts are grieving, yearning for resolve, yearning for peace, yearning for an immediate halt to the violence in this nation. We are bowed in spirit, seeking an immediate response to the killings and abuse of pregnant and postpartum women of color by the police, and ask for an immediate resolution for all the families who have suffered this violence. We are powerless without you. Lord, hear our prayer. Amen.
Amen.
Beautiful. Thank you, God.
Does everyone have a packet? Please get a packet. And are there any press people here today? No, not yet. No press, okay. And I also want to let you know we're selling these t-shirts for a fundraiser. And they're over there.
So I want to welcome everyone. My name is Shafia Monroe, and I am a woman, a Black woman, a mother. I'm also a midwife. And the way I was raised, I was telling Brother Charles that, the way I was raised, that my mother from Boston, Massachusetts, inner city, Cathedral Project, always went around getting into this business to make a better world. So I grew up watching her talk to young men and old people and fighting for school board. Built the first clinic in an inner city Black area. So I was raised with that. So as a midwife, I'm seeing over the years, Black women and women of color being killed while they're pregnant. It always bothered me. And the one I remember the most is when they killed the postpartum lady, African American, who drove to the White House last year. She had a baby in her car and they murdered her. I didn't hear much about it, but then I heard about the Latino man who climbed over the White House and got into the White House, and he got arrested. So I see these unjust behaviors. But when I heard about Sister Charleena Lyles, June 18, I just went crazy. I lost it. I'm totally upset. I totally lost it. I was like, this is it. I got to do something. I put on the Facebook, midwives, doulas, let's unite right now against police violence. And then this is my husband who saw me with all my energy and helped me think of instead MAMA, Midwives, Others, and Mothers Alliance. Because we want midwives to take the charge. If we catch the baby, why have we not stepped forward to carry this on? We've been waiting way too long. And so, the whole point is that we have to bring attention that So many black women and women of color are being killed. In your packet, there's statistics that are just so pathetic. You know, the Native American woman, 5 months pregnant, on the reservation, was going to kill herself, her 4 children, 5 children present. They called the sheriff to help, and he kills her. You know, the Latino woman in New York, they're beating her son up. I'm a mom of 7 kids. Yeah, we're going to get involved and try to protect that child. They kept tasing her. The woman they kicked in the stomach, and she had placenta abrupta. The placenta broke away from the uterus, and her baby died. And the miscarriage. And all the babies who hear this violence, who aren't dying, the ones who've been abused, they come out with that kind of energy around them. And we don't know. No one's measuring the long-term effects. Physically, what's happening to children. And being in the birth world, we have this you know, this white privilege thing that, oh, birth is revolution. Birth just makes things so wonderful. But is it wonderful when you're black, you got kicked in the stomach, and you got put in jail, you got handcuffed, you got dragged across the sidewalk and punched in the head, and you're still having a baby. How come, is that birth going to be beautiful? I'm going to tell you it's not. That woman's in pain physically, her baby may be impaired forever, and there's no justice for it. You know, we have police officers trained to not even value anybody. And in America, we who love dogs so much, don't shoot a pregnant dog. You know, don't shoot a dolphin that's pregnant. You know, these are extinct and precious things. Why is not the woman of color, why is not the black woman carrying life above that of the animal? You know, so I really am here to say that as birth workers, as midwives, mothers, fathers, it is our charge today and right now to step up and demand that this stops, that we have to protect our pregnant women. They're the most vulnerable. You know, you're pregnant, your stomach's big, you can hardly tie your shoes. Never mind having your hand behind your back with metal tight. You can hardly even reach to get things. You need help. No matter how fit we are, we're vulnerable. And so the fact that this is happening and that no one's speaking up, I just want to say that today we are speaking up and we are no longer going to tolerate it. And I have a lot of ideas I would like to see happen besides us meeting with the chief of police and really asking them, how are you training your police officer? What is the training for interacting with a pregnant person? And you know, when we get pregnant, when you all are women, we have a lot of cycles, our menstrual cycle, our pregnancy cycle, our menopause cycle. With functional hormonal, that one may be a little bit more louder because she's pregnant. And that's to be expected. So get used to that, officer, whoever, and be kind and lower your voice. We say in Islam, a Muslim, in the Quran, reverence the womb that bore you, for God watches over you. So the womb is sacred, and the person who carries that womb in her is also sacred. And so this is a sacred time, but instead it's become a very frightening time. Without being pregnant as a black woman, there's already fear. But now that you're pregnant, you know that nobody cares about you. Before you got a, what's the word called? A tender arm. Okay, well she's pregnant. Okay, ma'am, you know, just go home. You know, there's some type of respect, some type of dignity, some type of social order around pregnancy that we no longer value in this country anymore. But the thing I want you to realize that this is being perpetrated mainly against black women and women of color, mainly the person with black women, and at least the Latina coming in and also Native American. And so I just wanted to say that I'm glad that you all are here. I want to thank you. I want to thank Brina, where is she? Who has been very helpful getting this done. Kayla and Jesse and Baba, Charles, and so many people have been on Facebook, you know, sending money for this, you know, buying packets, paying for the space here. And so I just want to thank you all for coming out and say this is an important issue. And I think collectively we will make a change. It's up to the midwives, I feel, for us to really lead this and bring those with us. Midwives are leaders. We're not just baby catchers. We are leaders. We're revolutionaries. You know, we're the ones that have to catch the baby in the Middle Passage on the ship of enslavement, as well as on the plantation. We have a long history of fighting injustice around birth, saving the women from the I call them the oppressor. I don't call them the oppressor, the terrorist, the owner of human lives. We were the ones that would kind of be the buck between that person and the pregnant woman. You know, historically, this is our legacy, and so I'm just so pleased that today I can get the conversation out. So, thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Joanne Hardesty, and I wear many, many hats in this community. One of those is as president of the NAACP Portland branch, and one is as a member of the steering committee of the Urbana Ministerial Alliance Coalition for Justice and Police Reform. In this community, I have been fighting for police accountability for well over 20 years. And in fact, the Urbana Ministerial Alliance Coalition really solidified our efforts after Kendra James was shot and killed by a Portland police officer almost 15 years ago. And I will say that we are all volunteers. None of us are paid for the work that we do, which is really important for people to understand. But it is not easy trying to change a military institution who believes they know best, and that if you question them, then basically you're just anti-police. And I can tell you that I have worked with 8 mayors, I have worked with 12 police chiefs, and the culture of Portland Police Bureau has not changed one iota in that time period. And so the problem is clearly systemic, and the problem goes back to how they are trained. If anyone has ever spent any time at DPSST, which is the state training facility that all law enforcement officers go through for their first 16 weeks training, you will understand why they come out with a us versus them mentality. Because they are trained as if they are headed off to war. Wow. They are trained as if they are in a military boot camp. And I know because I was in a military boot camp, so I know what it looks like, feels like, and acts like. I'm sorry?
He's locking us in, I don't like that.
Oh. And so I want to appreciate Shafia Monroe and Midwives for stepping into this arena, because I haven't left. In 20 years, it's been a very consistent process. And what I can tell you is that it takes consistency. Change will not happen overnight. It won't happen with the next police chief that comes in. It will only happen if we, the community, set high expectations for what we expect from people who are sworn to protect and serve us. In fact, this morning, I was in mediation with the Department of Justice, the Police Union, and the AMA Coalition because of the Department of Justice settlement agreement with the Department of Justice around interactions with people with mental health issues and people perceived to have mental health issues. So here's a fact that the city doesn't want you to know, is that in the 4 years that the Department of Justice has been providing oversight of Portland Police, every person who's been killed by Portland Police has suffered a mental health issue. Every one. And so you have to ask yourself, how is that? How is that when we have federal oversight of how Portland Police operates? I will say that we need everybody to be involved and engaged in holding police accountable. And right now, there's a new fight that's taking place around a directive that the current police chief, Mike Marshman, is trying to implement. And so very shortly, there was a rule in the union contract that was a 48-hour rule. Charlie Hales pat himself on the back because he got rid of the 48-hour rule. However, the current directive on use of force, when officers use force against a community member that causes injury, the Department of Justice had said that at the end of the shift, there had to be an after-action report. Chief Mike Marshman, our current police chief, on July 2nd at 5:15 p.m., when he thought no one was paying attention, put out the directives to change the directives around use of force and how police report use of force. And the new directive would require that police don't have to make a statement at all until they have completed the grand jury process. So we were crazed that police officers, unlike us, had 48 hours to get their story together. But now it appears that police will have significantly longer than 48 hours because it takes normally weeks, sometimes months, for the grand jury process to be over. And so we have people calling the mayor at 503-823-4120 and demanding that he stop the implementation of this new directive. Now, he put out a statement this morning saying, due to the advice of the district attorney, he is forced to make this change. But he is looking at other options. So I ask you, why make the change if you're looking for other options? Why not leave it as it is now and actually look for every legal opportunity to make sure that police officers are accountable to the community that they serve? And so that's happening right now. And so if you call the mayor, if you tweet,